Give me a little intro there, Gomer.
There's no turning back now.
Let's put on the show.
You're listening to the Station 71 podcast. My name is Beth, and this week I'm joined by my co-host,
Brian.
And Kirsten.
All right, so we have a fun topic going on this week. We are obviously missing our fearless leader, Mario, as he prepares for his big wedding day. So I'll keep him in our thoughts and excited for him to take on this next chapter of his life. So he may be out for a couple of next episodes, but we're wishing him well. But before we get started, as always, we have a couple of news topics to go over. First and foremost, we had for Epcot, actually is a very Epcot news heavy week. We have new main entrance music and nighttime lighting package debuted today at Epcot. Did you guys check this out?
Yes. It looks good. Epcot has been killing it lately with the updates to the decor around the park.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had those nice acrylic pylons debut a while back, and then now we got nice nighttime lighting package. It's beautiful, colorful LEDs in the fountain and surrounding the entrance plaza. It all looks so nice. And we got those flags. All the pavilion logo flags came up, and those look really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they don't get rid of the star tiles.
The star tiles?
Me too.
Yeah, those are the best.
Oh,
I
you
feel
mean
like they would.
are you talking about like the lit ground pieces?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know that they were called star tiles, but that
I mean,
makes sense.
that's what I call them. I don't know what they're called, but they're
Okay.
sparkly, and I want them in
Very
my house.
apt description.
Yeah, it is. No, I love those too. I hope that they are here for the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
I did think it was interesting though that the new loop of music, apparently none of it is original for like it wasn't designed specifically for this. It's all stuff that was already existing.
Huh.
Like existing in
There's
Disney
apparently
or
a playlist.
existing in the world.
It says Disney opted to utilize existing triumphant music to welcome guests to the park. So
Okay.
I'm not sure, but there's a playlist on Spotify,
Ooh.
but
I just got
I'll send the
Spotify.
link.
And it's honestly the best decision I've ever made.
Yeah. So, well, now you can listen to that on Spotify too.
I'm going to.
Check out the new music in advance. So, also at Epcot, we had the Flower and Garden Festival debuted. And I checked out these menus. I gotta say, this, I think, is maybe the first Epcot Festival menus I've ever seen where I would eat at least one thing at every single booth. These menus look awesome.
And the pictures are gorgeous too.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever this guacamole thing is, like the first picture. That
I
looks
think it's
like a little
avocado
garden.
toast.
Yeah, that makes sense. It looks like a garden on a plate. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like any of those things, but I would
It is
try
good.
it.
They always do such a good job with plating, like for it being
Mhm.
essentially quick service counters at all the festivals. I think they do great.
Yeah, for sure. We also got a new Orange Bird sipper. I heard the line was
you got
insane,
to.
but I would stand in it. I gotta have the Orange Bird sipper.
It looks like we got the what's the bee's name again?
Spike.
Yeah, we
Yep.
got another one with him.
Still forcing
too.
him on us.
Yep. Well,
Anybody out there a big Spike the Bee fan? Please email us. I want to know if you exist.
they don't.
So I guess without further ado, on the topic of festivals, our theme this week is Design a Dream Festival. So we all decided that we were going to make up a new festival as if Epcot didn't have enough already. But our kind of parameters were, one of the parameters we made was, this is in a imaginary world where there are no festivals at Epcot already. So
It was funny to me because obviously I wasn't in last week's episode when I got the message that had all these in there. And when I saw that, because I was like, yeah, you literally could not cram another festival into Epcot the way it is right now.
It'd have to be like a
Yeah.
one-day festival.
Right. Or I guess in the summertime. But I guess they don't have a festival in the summer because it's already busy enough.
And it's hot
I
AF.
feel like Food and Wine's stretching into
Yeah.
there too.
That's true. Food and Wine does start in like August now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you could do like a June and July festival, and then you'd have Epcot would literally just be festival year round.
Instead
Pretty
of
much
Eat to
is
the Beat,
already,
it'd be
but-
like Beat the Heat.
that's
That's pretty
good.
good.
They would have to have that at
Yeah.
the water parks.
Oh, that's actually
Oh.
interesting. I didn't think about that.
Which apparently other quick news story. Blizzard Beach is supposed to be opening back up this Sunday.
Oh,
Hmm.
really?
That is what Jordan texted me. So if I'm wrong about that, everybody write hate mail to my wife because I don't have an actual article backing that up. So, but yeah,
Well, it's too bad they refunded you that $6 on your
I
annual
know.
pass.
Yeah. So that's I know, which Jordan was all excited. She's like, "Oh my God, Blizzard Beach is opening back up Sunday." And I'm like, "Hey, we don't have passes anymore." But all right.
She could still be excited about it, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's step towards normalcy. That's always nice.
Exactly. Even if we're not participating in it, it's good to know that the world is in some way, shape, or form heading towards normalcy.
Yeah. So, our dream festivals at Epcot, again, we kind of set a couple of loose parameters. Gonna kind of be winging it for the most part, but again, this is in a world where there are no festivals at Epcot already, so we don't have to replace a festival with our new festival that we're designing. And pretty much other than that, all we had to do was choose a time of year, a theme, and come up with a kiosk with one food item and one drink, and also one entertainment option of some sort. So anybody want to go first in particular?
How are we doing this? Are we explaining our whole festival one at a time?
Yeah, I think
I
that would make the
figured
most
that
sense.
make the most sense, so you can kind of put all the like a theme cohesively with all of your items.
Okay. I mean, I don't mind going first.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Okay. So mine, I didn't really keep it just to Epcot, because I don't know, where's the fun in that? So I called mine Daredevils and Desserts, and it would be like, first I was going to do like a villains, but then I was like, well, I feel like they kind of done that already. So I was like, okay, what if they had a festival celebrating like all of the thrill rides? Because y'all know how I am about my thrill rides. So they would do it in the fall. And it would just, I think that it would be fun to do it across the parks because then it would also be more spread out. And it would just be kind of like a little addition to your day. So I'll start with the entertainment. I actually kind of got this idea from Riverbank Zoo, Beth.
Ooh.
How every year at Zoofari, you get like a backstage tour of one of the enclosures, like the barns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, I feel like a cool entertainment slash event slash dessert party at like a different thrill ride every year. So like one night, because I know you can do events in those places. So I was like, what if like every night or 3 nights a week of the festival time period, they did like an after hours tour of Space Mountain and you got to like learn, like a regular tour where you learn fun facts and you got to see it. With the lights on and like have basically kind of a party in the ride venue itself.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I think that'd be really fun. Clearly, this is
So
just
wait, is this included in your ticket or a separate ticketed event?
I think that the after hours thing would have to be like a separate ticketed event, but the rest of it would just be included. Or at least a reservation type thing, clearly. But yeah, so that's my entertainment option. And so I feel like there should be a kiosk at each thrill ride with a different, at least one drink and dessert option. So I listed the thrill rides. Here were my choices. Y'all can tell me if you think these belong or something else belongs. These don't belong. So for Magic, Space Mountain, Thunder Mountain, Splash Mountain, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Epcot, Mission Space, Test Track, and Soarin'. Hollywood Studios, Rockin', Tower of Terror, Smuggler's Run, Slinky Dog, and Rise of the Resistance. And then Animal Kingdom, Flight of Passage, Dinosaur, Everest, and Cali River Rapids. And then, obviously, for my example kiosk, I did Tower of Terror. So the drink would be like a French 49. Do y'all know what a French 75 is?
No.
It's like a champagne cocktail, and it has like it's gin and champagne and like lemon juice.
Fancy.
But I simple syrup. Oh, and simple syrup. If y'all can hear Will.
Thanks, Will.
I don't. But everything. I would think all of this stuff was gross. All the drinks, at least, not the desserts. So I would make it just like a regular French 75, but it would have like a gold glitter garnish. Have y'all seen the gold like all the glitter that you can put in your drinks now? Have y'all seen that like on Instagram?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a new thing, the edible glitter that you dump in your drinks and make them sparkly. So they would all be gold, and there would be like a strawberry garnish. And then the dessert for that would be angel food cake with like strawberries and whipped cream, obviously, because I feel like that would go together. And then like Slinky Dog Dash, I feel like you could have a salty dog as your drink, and then like a salted caramel cupcake, So I just feel like it'd be fun to theme it and just have it be a little something all around the parks.
I like that. I think it would be cool to see a festival branch out and like coordinate between the parks.
Yeah.
And I agree. And like you said, that would be good to spread out the crowds.
Yeah. Because I mean, I personally don't find that much joy in food and wine because it's so crowded. Like, that's not fun for me, So if there were something that were taking place all over, I feel like that would be a lot easier.
Well, I gotta say, Kirsten, food and wine might be a little more enjoyable if you imbibed a little more.
Yeah, probably so.
Take the edge off.
If I wasn't picky and didn't like to drink, yeah, it'd probably help. Okay, that's all I got.
Brian, would you like to go next, or do you want me to?
I can go next. Forgive me, I'm still kind of workshopping the name of this festival. But as of right now, I'm calling it Epcot's Look Back on the Future Festival. And I thought what would be very cool to do was to kind of embrace more of the idea of Epcot being a permanent World's Fair and lean into that a little bit more. And essentially what this would do is take the other side of a World's Fair, where you're generally looking at contributions from each country, and just look at technological advancements that are coming in the future. And I think it'd be a really cool opportunity for both Disney to bring people into the parks, but also for different companies to showcase technologies they're working on. So I figured Epcot's already pretty good at getting technological sponsors, but what if we gave them an opportunity to set up booths in Future World and do presentations on some of the new technology that are coming out, have booths set up where people can play around with it and stuff. I mean, we talk about like GE's already pretty heavily sponsored in Epcot, and they're always coming out with new stuff, and get more companies like that to sign on and set up and move the festival kind of out of World Showcase a bit and more into Future World, and give the companies a chance to display the stuff they're working on. So I guess I don't really have a specific time of year that this would work well at. Um, Maybe like in the fall ish, just because it's kind of leaning towards the end of the year and leaning into kind of looking towards the new year coming up. But that's what I was thinking. Um, and then I thought, kind of in parallel with this, the fun thing to do for World Showcase then would be to use the different countries as a way to showcase their past technological advancements over the years. So each individual country then would set up booths and entertainment options that would show some of the major milestones that they came up with over time in technological advancement, and then showcase that as kind of the historical aspect of it. So hence the looking back at the future name of the festival. So in contrast to how most festivals would be, there wouldn't really be a huge focus on food or drink or anything like that. It would be more of the edutainment aspect of it, I guess you would say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't know. I guess I've always really thought, Epcot's done such a good job with edutainment, and Interventions is always trying to come out with stuff to kind of keep it fresh. But I think a big part of having this work would be, Disney really leaning into these corporate sponsorships where everybody's going to win, and I feel like for companies to be able to come in and kind of showcase their stuff, they get, free advertisement basically, and Disney's getting another entertainment option in the park. So I think it would work out really well for everybody.
Yeah, I agree. That sounds cool, and I really like your idea of putting it in Future World rather than World Showcase, and kind
Yeah.
of pulling a little bit of the crowd out of World Showcase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I
Cool.
mean,
And you could I know you said that it wasn't going to be super focused on food and drink and stuff, but you could even do something like they've done in the past with the Light Lab
yeah, that's a good one.
to add in a food and drink aspect, but still also keep with the theme of edutainment and technology.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I really think that fit, something like that would fit in with the idea of Epcot initially, and I would hope it would make Walt proud.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
really cool.
I like it.
All right. So me next. Obviously,
Yes.
I'm the last one. So my idea that I came up with, which I gotta give, not that my stepdad even listens to this, but I gotta give him a shout out because he kind of inspired me with this idea. I was telling him about our topic for tonight, and he kind of gave me this inspiration for the Epcot International Film Festival.
Ooh.
So I was thinking that it would mostly be in World Showcase, and that it could, as kind of the big thing to bring in people and make people want to come to it, to use those already existing theaters like China and Canada's Circle Vision and Impressions de France, right? Is that Circle Vision or is that just a theater? I've never actually done
It's
it.
just a theater.
It's just a theater.
It's where the Beauty and the Beast sing-along is now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so we have a couple of theaters that already exist that we could use for this, and it would especially be cool in those, to develop some new stuff for the Circle Vision films, but we could have some animated, maybe even a live action, specially made for these theaters and only available at this festival. I feel like that would be a thing that people would get into, like, "Ooh, I want to go see this like new short about, whether it's a new topic or we could bring in characters that people already know and love, like Olaf, who I know Kirsten will agree with me, definitely deserves more screen time.
Yeah.
And also that would, be good for World Showcase to pull people off of the main pathways. And, since I feel like the attractions, quote unquote attractions, being the Circle Vision and, the films that exist in these places, don't really pull a whole lot of crowds right now. So I think this would be a good opportunity to utilize those spaces.
Yeah.
And, maybe is a little bit ambitious, but it'd be kind of cool if they could develop something new every year, not just the same thing every year made specifically for this festival. But like I said, maybe that's ambitious, but they could do it if they wanted to.
Yeah.
I think it also would be cool to take the kind of exhibits that they have existing in a lot of the pavilions already, like Morocco, I know has one, and Japan and Norway, and use those to display like movie props. Because anybody who listens to this podcast knows that I miss the studio backlot tour at Hollywood Studios very dearly. And I love seeing movie props, and I think a lot of people do. So I think that would be a cool thing. Right now, if it's still there at the Beauty and the Beast sing along, they actually have some movie props and props from Broadway shows and stuff like that on display. And I specifically went just to go look at those. I didn't actually stay for the sing along, but I really like looking at movie props and stuff. So I think that would be a cool way to utilize those spaces as well. And then I also thought maybe throw a couple of character cavalcades in there with some, favorite characters from movies that maybe don't get enough love in Epcot or in the other parks. Specifically, maybe like seeing Moana walking around World Showcase would be pretty cool. Maybe like a Mardi Gras-esque vehicle of some sort with Tiana and friends. Lilo and Stitch. Just some characters that you don't really see out and about a lot, I think would be fun ways to put them in.
No Clarabelle Cow.
No Clarabelle Cow,
Oh,
Brian.
Clarabelle.
I know we have some Clarabelle stands out there, so I'm sorry in advance, but
Who's a Clarabelle
you just can't
stan?
take back. We have a couple people in the Discord, and I love you guys. I know you're listening to this and you're yelling at your phones or car stereos or whatever you're listening to this on. I love you as a person. I don't love Clarabelle Cow.
As a cow.
I don't love her as a cow or any other being.
I feel like
You just
anybody.
can't unhear that song, man.
Wait, what? I personally am not a Clarabelle fan because of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. I feel like any parent who has to watch Mickey Mouse Clubhouse for hours doesn't like Clarabelle. But that's
Is
just
she a
me.
big character on that?
Surprisingly, yes.
Huh.
Her voice is
Interesting.
Just
I was
weird.
wondering why she was still relevant, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
and
Mickey
that
Mouse
kind of
Clubhouse.
makes a little more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think you got my reference necessarily, but she sings at Very Merry in the stage show. Her version of the Mariah Carey Christmas song,
Oh.
but it's in Clarabelle Cow voice.
Everything about that stage show is so
I mean, that stage show is just an abomination. And honestly, the Clarabelle Cow part is not the worst part. It's the
No, we
text
have
me
Text
Merry
Me Merry
Christmas.
Christmas. Oh man, that's yeah.
But she also has her little spot in like Move It, Shake It or whatever. And she's in every single like holiday type of thing. She has a float in Boo to You and the Christmas parade, and I don't understand the appeal. So no, she is not invited to my film festival. But for your food and drink options, I feel like I had so many directions that I could go in. I didn't nail down like specifics, but I had a couple of ideas that I thought would be cool, as that you put, your kiosks around World Showcase and have some relevant tie-in to the country or the surrounding area. My big thing that I thought would be really cool is for Mexico, obviously me being a huge fan of Coco, you have Coco themed kiosk and some sort of tacos and street corn, and then with each of your items you get some decorative marigold petals, which are edible, I learned. With the marigolds being a thing in Coco, I thought that would be really cute.
I like that.
And then I also thought near the American Adventure Pavilion, you could have my girl Tiana get a little more representation as well and have a New Orleans themed kiosk, which they actually have one at Flower and Garden, I learned today. So that's pretty cool that they have. Yes, obviously you would have Tiana's famous gumbo and beignets. But I feel like there's a lot that you could do with this, with it being such a kind of, I don't want to say generic, but generic theme. With it being a film festival, you could literally incorporate any film you wanted to. So I think you could, maybe have like Tangled theme kiosk and food items in Germany, or Aladdin themed kiosk in Morocco. You could really do so much with this that it was hard to nail down more than a couple of specific ideas. My brain just kind of went everywhere.
A gala night where they had them all too, where people could buy, like, make it a special ticketed event where people could dress up. I mean, that's just me because I like to dress up, like a real film festival, like
yeah,
that would sell. That really would.
That would be fun.
I imagine all those Disney Instagrammers who would like pay to take pictures of Disney in the park. I totally would too, but
that would be fun. So yeah.
Nice.
Epcot festivals.
It's interesting because we all went in such different directions. Like, I don't know. It's just interesting how that happens. Like, I literally never would have thought of those two things.
Yeah, that's kind of the fun thing about doing these Blue Sky type of episodes, is that I feel like we usually all come up with pretty different ideas. But they're all good ones, I think.
We're all really good at this.
Yes, Disney, hire us already. We got the creative brains to give you guys good ideas, and you can have them. You can implement them.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, it'd be cool to get paid for, but also it'd be cool to just have the things that we dreamed up.
That would be cool.
Well,
since we've got a little bit of extra time left,
a lot of it.
All right, let's look at this from another perspective. Take an existing festival. What would you want to add to it to spice it up, or give it a new kind of lease on life for another year?
Mm.
You know what would be kind of fun? I don't know if this is how feasible this is, but and I don't think they do anything like this already at Flower and Garden. If they had like a topiary that you got to watch someone shape, like a work in
Oh,
progress
Oh,
type of
that would be
thing.
awesome.
I I'd love that.
It kind of seems like a no-brainer. Like, why don't they do that already?
Which
Well,
reminds
I
me,
mean, okay, I know.
if y'all are into that, have y'all watched the Big Flower Fight on Netflix? Or the Great
Yeah,
Flower
Mm-mm.
Fight?
I
It's like
actually
a
have. It's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
reality game show type of thing
Yeah, but
for
it takes place in
landscaping
England,
topiaries.
so it's better than our reality TV. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You should watch it.
Nice. Yeah, I've never even heard of that. I'll have to check that out.
I think my mom and Jordan watched it like when my mom came to visit us, and I was like, "Oh God, it's gonna be stupid." And like halfway through the first episode, I was like really into it. So it really is interesting, like the stuff that the people are able to create. It's kind of like when you see someone do like really high end cake decorating, and you're like,
Mhm.
that's not cake. And then it's kind of the same thing. You see some of these, and it's like they didn't really make that out of flowers, and it is. So it is a very cool episode or series. And I agree, Beth. I would love to see them shaping topiaries in person.
I don't
I
see
mean,
why not. Like they did the sand sculpture thing recently at Animal
mhm.
Kingdom.
Well, and they do the artist every year at Festival of the Arts, so it kind of makes
Yeah.
sense.
And that was gonna be my suggestion, was not just artists necessarily, but like I feel like uh you know what always really amazes me is the little in One Man's Dream, at the end they have the maquettes, like the models and stuff
Mhm.
of everything. I would love to hear of like just the people behind the scenes that make those kind of things and like who storyboard movies, like the Imagineers or like the movie teams or the artists who like translate movies to attractions. Like I think it would be cool to hear talks by them.
Yeah, definitely. That's like a
Mhm.
dream job of mine to be able to make like the miniatures like that. Oh man, I would love to hear from the people that make those.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be
I,
really
I
cool.
think that would be a fun addition to arts.
Mhm.
Anyway, Brian?
Hmm. Trying to think. Like, I feel like Food and Wine's pretty good the way it is. Like, that's a staple, so they don't really need to change that. Um, I I would like Festival of the Arts to branch out a little bit more. I know we say this almost every time we talk about it that like we hope it grows bigger, and I hope that continues to happen, and it seems to be moving that way. Um, I know it's not going to happen. I kind of wish that they would move away from doing the food booths so much and have more kind of like the you know paint the mural type thing. Do more stuff like that, more interactive entertainment things, and less food stuff, in my opinion.
But culinary arts, Brian.
I agree, but it's like we already have two other festivals that are very dedicated to culinary arts. So,
Yeah. What would be kind of cool is not necessarily moving away from the food in Festival of the Arts, but moving it more towards showing the chefs like plating it and decorating
yeah,
it and stuff. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know how you could feasibly do that to where you just, I don't know, maybe have like a camera on them in like a part of the like a different kitchen or something where you're just like showing like, oh, this is how it's made and like, oh, here's us plating it and stuff instead of, they still do a really good job, like you said earlier, about especially for it being a kiosk and, quick service essentially, but it
hmm
would be cool to see like little details and like maybe something about how it's like the ideas are developed and stuff and the flavor palettes or something,
yeah.
make
want
it
more behind the
more
scenes.
about the actual art of it rather than, oh, this looks pretty.
Yeah.
I think that's a theme
I
with
mean,
all of our
I'll-
suggestions is more like behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, it's true. We want to see how the magic happens.
We like edutainment.
It's
Yeah.
true. Epcot, don't move away from that.
I know.
Embrace it.
Hmm.
What about overlays? Is there anything we could do with any attractions overlays wise for our themes?
Huh. I always feel like Living with the Land is just begging for an overlay all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think how we could work that into our ideas. Guess it would be hard because it's not a thrill ride, so it automatically doesn't fit in there.
Yeah.
I find agriculture very thrilling, okay?
They could add a secret drop, and then when you get off the ride, you get like a cookie for suffering through it.
Oh my gosh. Funny.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. What are some good classic movies that are based around agriculture, Beth?
Chicken Little.
Home on the Range.
Children of the Corn. There we go. There's one.
I don't want anything Home on the
Hey,
Range
in The
themed,
Good
but that
Dinosaur,
one
there's
is actually
farmers.
about. Hey, there we go. I'm
Yeah,
fine with
right.
that. Add some little Arlo animatronics in the in Living with the Land.
You could have Cinderella out there feeding some chickens some corn.
Brother
Like,
Bear.
on the ride?
Yeah, she does that.
Oh, I thought you meant just having her as like a walk around character, like with live chickens running around.
I mean, that'd be kind of fun too.
That
They
would
could put her in that little spot that they've had Joy and Pooh near the Imagination Pavilion.
I think I need a nap.
I like it. I think that would add a lot of, pun intended, character to Epcot.
Nice.
Just retheme all of Test Track to be you're now on a very fast tractor going through fields.
I love it.
Oh my gosh, it's so loud in my house. I'm sorry.
Have movies playing at Test Track somehow, maybe? Movie scenes? I don't know, man.
You know that part in Cars where they go tractor tipping or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
You could do that. And then that thing comes out and chases them, like the big
Oh, the big bull
cotton
tractor
gin thing or
thing.
whatever.
Will is our co-host tonight too.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to be quiet.
Wow.
Hang on, wait a minute. So now we're retheming existing rides to farming?
Yeah, I think
Why
we
are we
got a
doing
little
this?
off track because my brain went with agriculture because we were talking about living with the land, which is actually relevant to agriculture. And then in the back of my mind was thinking that the festival was now agriculture themed for some reason. So now we have the International Festival of Agriculture going on at
Okay.
Epcot.
All right. I like this. We should run with this and continue making this.
And Spaceship Earth all gets rethemed to the history of farming. You just go through the different scenes of how it developed over time. It's like, it's like kind of like the living with the land, but more so.
I mean, honestly, I would take that. Living with the Land is such a soothing ride. I love it.
Oh, me too.
But I would want Judi Dench to still narrate.
Judi Dench should just narrate every ride at Disney.
Yeah.
I'm down with it. Oh, for like the entertainment thing, instead of like a paint your own mural, they could have like a thing where you plant a plant in the ground.
I like it.
They could bus you out to
Do you get to take? Is it
to where they have all the Disney plants? Like the whole garden thing, and you could plant something there.
Yeah. Or hey, this is a way that Disney might actually sign on to this. You have to plant the flowers for Flower and Garden, so they get free labor. Well, they actually get like labor that pays them, and then they get the flowers planted for Flower and Garden, and everybody wins. Disney wins. Somebody wins.
Yeah, no, that would be great. That's a great trick because you let people feel like they're being a part of something, but they're actually benefiting more than the people taking part in it.
Yeah.
And they give you a little card of here's what your flower will look like when it's grown, and then you come back for Flower and Garden Festival, so you get return visitors, and they come back and they point and they say, "That's where I planted this pansy," or something. Here's the picture of it.
When people would actually do it.
Oh, 100%.
Sure.
Absolutely. People would literally, if you said, here's a special ticketed event where you get to pave the concrete at a Disney park, they would do it. I took part in paving this concrete.
I mean, maybe this is just me being a like Disney super fan, but like just knowing that I was a part of some type of like building of one of the parks, I would do that for sure.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I would totally do it too. I would pay to do it. I would feel like a schlub while doing it. I'd feel like total sellout, but I would totally do it.
Yeah, so would I.
This is how Disney like is going to build the fifth gate is
right.
Having Disney fans come in and be free laborers for them.
Yes.
If they said fifth gate, we need volunteers, there would be so many people signed up for that immediately.
Oh, for sure.
They would build the rides. It would be unsafe as hell, but it would get done.
I mean, it would basically be like a county fair.
Yeah.
But Disney themed.
Maybe we let like the engineers build the actual attractions still, and then we just let the people come in and do the things that are harmless. Like we said, planting the plants and I don't know, painting stuff. I bet there's like tons of really talented artists out there that are also big Disney nerds that would totally come in and paint for free. Not that they should have to do that because artists deserve to be paid what they're worth, but at the same time, they would.
But think of all the exposure that they'd get.
Oh yeah, exposure is definitely something that pays the bills. Them exposure bucks.
About as valuable as the Disney dollars.
Yep. What about resorts? Could we extend some of this festival fun to resorts? They already do movies under the stars, so the film festival kind of already exists at the resorts.
And it would be cool. I know they probably wouldn't do it, but for Disney to kind of step out and show like classic movies that weren't necessarily, Disney movies. But, I mean, I guess maybe they would be. I mean, they were willing to step out for, like the Great Movie Ride and stuff. So maybe they would do something like that.
Hey, and they own a lot of the rights to a lot of movies that they didn't make now. Like when we were talking the other day about The Princess Bride, which is 20th Century Fox. They didn't make it, but they own it now, and it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't think it would really work with mine. I don't know. Maybe they could
No,
sell
because
like
thrill ride theme.
do like the packages, like so you could have dinner at one of the restaurants before the after hours tour. You know how they do like the Phantasmic dinner packages and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But at like one of the like if it was at a ride at Magic Kingdom, they could do it on one at the monorail resorts, restaurants, etc.
Yeah. That would work.
Brian, for yours, they need to you could expand on like Dine with an Imagineer and make sure it took place at like resort restaurants. But like dine
Well,
with
one
maybe
thing
people from the companies that are exhibiting.
that's good. I like that. One thing I'd really like to see too, and it doesn't necessarily fit in with the theme of my festival, but more on the looking back and like the historical perspective of things. So I think it'd be really cool if like they would do and kind of like retheme or like redo the decor of some of the hotels like from when they first opened to just get like a look to see how different it was. I know that would probably be like way too expensive to actually happen, but I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Like
That would be really
permanently
cool.
or temporarily?
Well, I guess for like the lobby and stuff temporarily, but I think it would also be cool to like set aside rooms. Like, okay, one thing that they could do was just say they took like one hotel or one room at each hotel and redid the decor as it was like on opening day so
Yeah.
that you could go and tour that one room and see how different everything was in there.
I love
that's
it.
cool. Anything else? Or are creative juices running dry?
I
We
think
just
I'm
stretched
tapped
this
out.
one about as far
Yeah.
as we can.
We ended up making it work though.
Yeah.
Pulling a few tricks out of the hat.
Yeah,
It was a fun one.
it was. I like being able to just kind of like freeform think about stuff and spitball ideas.
Yeah. Now I'll just, pull all of these audio clips of us talking together and email them to Disney corporate and say, feel free to use any of this. All you got to do is give our podcast a shout out. Boom.
Yeah.
And then
I
next
want
year,
royalties.
well, next year you'll see them hosting events on, hey, come do free labor for us at Disney World.
Yeah. Or when they retheme Test Track to tractors for some reason, we'll know it was us.
Okay, Brian, we kind of lost sight of things for a minute. We got back to it though. We got back to it.
Yeah. It all came back around.
And we invented a new festival, an agriculture festival.
Oh.
All right. Well, if you guys don't have anything else,